Happy Mother's Day, y'all. You are in for a special treat today because I will be planting some sweet potatoes today. And these are some slips that, as you can see, how it actually grows. So this is how a sweet potato starts, okay? It starts from growing from another sweet potato and those roots start growing, and that's what you call a slip. And then you just pinch it off when it's time. Like, I might be able to pinch off one of these. Maybe it might grow a little bit more. Okay, I might let it grow a little bit more till it's maybe a couple of more inches long, and then I'll take it out and then I'll place it in water. Do you see all those roots? All of those roots is what needs to go into the soil so that you can actually grow the actual sweet potato. But first, what I'm gonna do is lightly just moisturize this soil that it's sitting in just a little bit. I just moisturize it just a little bit so that it doesn't dry out. Very carefully, because I don't actually have holes on the bottom of this, and so if there's too much water in it, there's no way for it to drain out. So I always just lightly water it just to the point where it's moisturized, right? That's it. Let's go plant some sweet potato slips. The reason why I'm dressed so fancy is because it's Mother's Day this weekend. And I was like, you know what? I'm not getting changed. I'm just gonna go ahead and start planting in my nice clothes. What I'll be using is a slow releasing fertilizer. That way the soil and the potatoes can get nutrients throughout the growing time. So this is a Biofish 772. That's an NPK of 772. And so there will be some foliage that will get a lot of enriching nutrients, as well the tubers, because this is a tuber. I want the second number to be a little bit higher, but I also want to add some potash into it as well to really help with the root development, since it is a tuber. And I've got worm castings. So there I got the potash, and I'm adding in extra little bit of bone meal, which would be that second number. So there's already some in here, but I'm just gonna add a pinch, you know, like you add a little pinch of salt. I'm just gonna add a little icing on the cake to really help the tubers so that they can really develop strong tubers and roots. And because sweet potatoes like more of acidic soil, so similar to like tomatoes, for example. Tomatoes really like an acidic soil. Sweet potatoes more on the slightly acidic. For example, 7.0 is more of a neutral pH level. Higher than that would be more of alkaline. Lower than that would be more acidic. And so, like I mentioned, so that's why tomatoes are more acidic. There's like more acidity in it, if I said that correctly. All right, so I added in just some peat moss. It's actually a peat moss mix that I use for my seed starting, and I just added it in here, and then I'm just gonna mix it all in. This soil is actually reused from last year, so I just wanted to make sure that I added in some peat moss just to make sure that there was a good amount that's in there to really help with the acidity. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this all in. Let's see if I can get something to help me mix this in. You know, it's Mother's Day weekend. This is what I like to do for Mother's Day. As well, spending time with my family. We're going out for dinner and going to a friend's house and doing a lot of gardening stuff though. So I'm gonna just keep mixing this in. Now, if you had some preparation, maybe a couple weeks in advance or at least a week in advance, then you could have added maybe like a soil acidifier. But since I have not, and this is something that I'm doing instantly and putting in my sweet potato slips into here, I'm just gonna add the peat moss because that is something that can add directly to it and won't provide any kind of shock, because that acidity takes some time just to start to break down. But this is more instant because peat moss is acidic. Moisturizing it a little bit just so that it's not completely dry. These roots have been sitting in water anyways. This is a 20-gallon grow bag. You can grow a lot of vegetables in grow bags. Maybe I put a little bit, a lot of water. Okay, it's fine. That water is at the top. I'm just gonna keep mixing this around. So just keep mixing it around. Get that moisture a little further down. This is in a grow bag. You can grow a lot of vegetables in grow bags. I grow my potatoes, sweet potatoes, and just a lot of other things in containers, pots, especially if you're in a small space. You don't have a large backyard. Maybe you don't even really have a backyard. All you have is a patio and it's, you know, maybe a balcony. You can grow sweet potatoes still where you're at. And if you're in a small space, remember to do a lot of vertical gardening because it really helps you to be able to grow a lot in a concentrated area. I'm really only planning on planting about 4 slits in here. I want to dig, see, about 6 inches deep. It's basically like this length of my hand. Oops. And I want to make sure that there's enough space so that the tubers can have enough space to really grow because they will send offshoot a lot more other tubers. And that's why you're gonna get a lot more potatoes from that one slip. So I got all the slips out and I'll pick 4 of them for right now. But first, I'm gonna start adding in some of this other stuff. This is the fertilizer. Worm castings. You can read the measurements on the back, but to be honest, I've been doing this now for a while. I just go based on what my hands feel like is enough. I kind of guesstimate. But if you're just starting this out, please read the instructions. Adding, look, just a little bit of the bone meal. See, not too much. I think just a little bit. And then the potash. Then you'll mix it in. Let's see, which one am I going to pick? This one's looking good. All right, let's start with that one. Mix it in. I want to get this a little bit deeper. There we go. Just gonna close that up. Close it up, close it up. There's another really good one. Actually, there's quite a few of them that are really good. Look at that. All those roots. So beautiful. Those white, healthy roots. And this soil has so many microorganisms because it's been sitting over the winter. I saw a lot of worms in it, pill bugs that were breaking down some of the organic matter, and I had a leaf mulch on it, so it was very protected. Now it's already been watered, so I don't need to add too much. Look at that. You can tell that it's already been watered. And that's it. That's all it is. I probably could have spaced these out a little bit more, but I can always push it, move it back. But y'all, it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna move on. And however my potatoes develop, I will be content and pleased with it. But if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do that. I have many people that ask me, how come, like, a lot of people aren't watching this video? I don't know. But if you enjoy it, watch it and then share it with someone else, because that's how this content is supported, is from people watching it. So share it with someone else that may be wanting to learn how to garden themselves. And just remember to grow, eat, self-care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.